I will spend the next 40 minutes or so talking about why entrepreneurship can be an alternative career. And I would like to thank my colleague who's also online, Regista. She's managing the in and out because the platform is from us. So she's going to help me admit people and keep everything on mute. So thank you to her. So let's get just started. Before we start, I'd like you to take 30 seconds to just write in a piece of paper, what would you like to achieve in the next 35 minutes, 40 minutes from my session? So if you achieve that, then you've attended a successful session. If you haven't, then you haven't. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds and then I will start. Okay, let's get started. What is it required to be an entrepreneur? We're going to look at the characteristics, skills, knowledge, and qualities we require to become an entrepreneur. My first slide, I always show this slide anywhere in the world when I'm speaking, because I think this is very suitable for us entrepreneurs to understand this. This is a passage from the book Wings of Fire from our late and former president, Abdul Kalam, with Arun Tiwari. This is a very beautiful passage in it. It says the special gallium arsenide gun socket barrier mixer diode comparative antenna systems. India was banned from buying any one of these high technology devices, but innovation cannot be suppressed by international restriction. I think it's a very, very important comment here that if we want to do something as an entrepreneur, nothing can stop us. So I always like to start with this slide. Now I do this exercise when it's a live session. Since this is not a person to person, it's a live session, I'm going to explain to you what I usually do here. In this exercise, I ask for things like car keys, money, the red lipsticks, and so on. I ask for 4 or 5 things. I collect them and I keep them in the front. The reason I do this is to show you the first thing an entrepreneur needs to do is he needs to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. There are a couple of people who ask really well. One of them is children. The children ask extremely well, and the other ones who ask extremely well are beggars. Why do they both ask? Because they don't care. Because when you don't have it, it doesn't really matter. So one of the first things an entrepreneur should be able to do is ask for what he wants. And the second thing is talking about the visions. So here I have put my visions for 2010. So this was written a long, long time ago. So as we wrote what I will do and what I wouldn't do, in 2010, I wrote this. However, I had to change these visions in 2018 because I had some health issues and I had to stop traveling. So I had to stop my travel to North America and Southeast Asia, which I used to do literally every week. I used to fly between Ottawa, Kuala Lumpur, and Chennai literally every week. So I was doing that for 2 or 3 years. And it sort of took a toll, and because of my health, I had to change the way I do work. So I decided that I'd stop traveling to Canada and Malaysia and I'll focus more in India. So I had to relook at my vision. So this is what the vision we had to rewrite in 2018. So this is what right now I'm trying to do. I work with a whole lot of incubators in south of India and also incubators like yours, where I try to help out if I can. So most of the South Indian incubators, I travel maybe once a month or so to visit them. But I'm trying to now change that model because people are more receptive now to do online. So my intention is to hit about 100 incubators in the next 4 or 5 years. So that's what our objective is. So this is what we wrote in 2018. So second thing an entrepreneur will need to do is to be able to have a vision. And your vision should be constantly reviewed. So this is where I give usually to the audience to write for 5 minutes, your vision. So since this is an online session, I think we can still do that. Why don't you all take a couple of minutes and write your vision, and end of the session, I will ask 1 or 2 of you to share your vision. So you can think about it and write what would you like to do in the next 5 to 10 years. So that's the second takeaway for an entrepreneur. Now, take a look at this picture. Remember it until the end. Don't come to any conclusions. If you already seen it before in Maybe you might have attended one of my sessions earlier, you might have seen it. Then don't worry about it. If you haven't seen it, I will explain to you at the end what it means. First question we always ask, do you want to be an entrepreneur? And what does most people do? They say yes. But what do we say? We say no. Now, when I ask the audience, why do I ask them to say no? They give me answers like, because I don't want anyone to come into entrepreneurship. If I don't want anyone to come into entrepreneurship, then I can't be running these sessions. No one will pay me or call me to do these sessions. The reason we tell you to do is, if you try saying no, we are trying to say, this is the hardest thing you'll ever have to do as an entrepreneur, is to say no. Saying no is easy. So we need to change. Now, let's look at what entrepreneurship means by some of the experts in the past 200 or 300 years have said. Harry Truman says, a pessimist is one who makes difficulties of his opportunity, and an optimist is one who makes opportunity of his difficulty. Since you're all from academic institutions, you now know many of the research questions are no longer called problem statements. They are now changed to opportunity statements. If you don't have a problem, then you don't need a solution. So it's an opportunity. So that's what entrepreneurship is about. Now, the best schools in the US, Epsom College and Harvard, they say entrepreneurship is a way of managing and leading. And I think this is a very apt setting. A lot of people talk about people being born entrepreneurs or not born entrepreneurs. I think that's not a very, it's like something we don't need to argue. This is very well put. It's about a way of managing and leading something you want to do, and that takes you through to become an entrepreneur. Now, this goes back to more than 200 years ago. He was a famous French economist. He says entrepreneurs shift resources out of an area of low and into an area of high productivity and greater yield. That's exactly what we try to do. And if you look, many organizations run by entrepreneurs, they are very lean because it costs money. So it's not always about making money. It's always also to make sure you spend less. So that's another thing startups need to learn. And this is another one by Joseph Schumpeter, another very well-known economist. He says entrepreneurship is creative destruction, dynamic disequilibrium brought on by innovative entrepreneurs rather than equilibrium and optimism. It's a normal, healthy economy and central narrative economy theory and practice. So these are all great economists. That's what their definitions are. This is Peter Drucker, much newer professor, leading professor in the United States. He says entrepreneurship is about searching for change, responding to it, and exploiting the opportunity. Innovation is a specific tool of entrepreneurship, the means by which they exploit change as an opportunity for different businesses or different services. So this is good. Now, I like this the best. And the person who said this doesn't want to be told who they are, so we'll not name them. Anyone who wants to experience the deep, dark canyon of uncertainty and ambiguity, and who wants to walk the breathtaking highlight of success. But I caution, don't plan to walk the ladder until you've experienced the former. So this is all about an entrepreneur. Most entrepreneurs, when they start their journey, they're looking out for the success, but they don't understand how difficult it is to get that success. And many of us are not willing to take that extra mile for success. So I like this very, very nice little topic. So now let's go into what are the elements can help. For start, there are three areas which we need to look at. First of all, we need to have opportunities. Discontinuity. When something is discontinued, there's always an opportunity. Change brings in opportunity. Just like the computers, technology, change brings a lot of opportunity. Today, chaos brings opportunity. And you can understand, in this COVID-19, many companies have found good businesses. Of course, there's a lot of people have suffered, but that's the way it goes. If those companies don't distribute drugs, water, those protective gear, we will suffer even more. So chaos creates activity. Vacuum, that means no one is doing it. And gaps, this is where entrepreneurs have to have a sharp eye to look for gaps. Resources, money is the least of them. Well, how does this work? People drive the perception of opportunity. It has to be revolutionary. So you need to have people who can think, who can apply and bring in the opportunity. These are the key elements of entrepreneurial success. Who is an entrepreneur? When I show this chart, it's not Doesn't mean one person has to have all the skills. A group of people have to have this. Mostly, if you look at a salesman, they are very low in managerial and creativity. They just push. Executives, low in creativity, but they're extremely good in managerial skills. Scientists, inventors, extremely creative, innovative, but they're very low in terms of managerial skills. An entrepreneur has to have these combined skills. If he's lacking one, he has to find a partner. So if you look at most entrepreneurial ventures, it's always more than one person because everyone brings in complementary skill sets. One may have fantastic vision, one may have fantastic technology. If you take Microsoft, you take HP, they all have two people or more. One is very good in technology, and one is very, very good in marketing the whole product. So you need to have a person who's good at technology, marketing, managing. So that's how you build a team. Now, why promote entrepreneurship? Firstly, it creates new jobs, especially a country like ours. We need lots and lots of jobs. So entrepreneurs can create jobs. So things like the cell phone, the internet shopping has created millions and millions of entrepreneurs and rich people. A lot of people have become very wealthy because of the internet. Amazon, Flipkart, you name a few, so many of them. Telecommunication companies like Xiaomi of China and a few more others. Jack Ma, all these people have become well-to-do because of new industry. The internet has made them millionaires. It gives economic and social mobility. It helps people change their life. It creates equity. It brings the stock exchange equity. It creates a valuable stock exchange. It makes great leaders. And above all, it contributes to society. And I think when I was speaking some time back with the vice chairman, his vision is to create lots and lots of small companies within your vicinity to create jobs and to keep people within that economic zone, which is a great, great vision. Because if there's a lot of opportunities, why would young people leave their hometown where they are much, much more comfortable and go and struggle in the metro cities like Delhi, Bombay, or Chennai, Hyderabad, or Bangalore, where they're overcrowded. So that's a great vision he's got. And I've said to him, I'm happy to come once the lockdown is over to explore how we can do things like that out there. Now, why do we need to promote? Today, jobs are not for keep. Even at this time and moment, many of people are losing jobs. People in the hotel industry, people in the travel industry, people who are pilots, they're all getting, their jobs are getting lost because today we are not traveling, we're not going out to eat, we're not on holiday. So all these things have got, so things are changing. Technology is making jobs less. See, because of technology, I'm able to speak to so many of you. If I had to come to one place, we would not have more than 30 or 40 people. So technology, so 30 or 40 people, the session has to be done 10 times. So the cost is 10 times. Today, the cost is 1, and we can do 300 people online equally well. These are broad programs where you don't need in-type contact, in-depth contact. So it is easy to do 300, 400 people. Recently, one of my videos, which I did for AICT, 85,000 people have watched it. I could have never imagined 85,000 people listening to me on one single piece. So that's technology. Today, many women are forced to look for work because incomes in the younger generation is not enough to pay. It's not that the women are forced to work or anything of that nature. It's a choice. It's not a choice. They have to work because one salary is not enough. So jobs become less. Today, jobs are not for life. Companies are rearranging. Entrepreneurship is increasing. Most people are on contract and temporary work now. And work has become flexible today. So these are the reasons why we need to create entrepreneurship. Now, these are mostly from another study, not mine, but we'll share my study in a bit. First thing an entrepreneur will have to have is drive and energy. Very few people, to my knowledge, almost 80% of the people we connect don't have drive or energy. They're just passing time. Very important to have drive and energy to make sure things are done well. Self-confident, they need to believe in themselves. This we are lacking. We need to build that self-confidence into young graduates to tell them they are as good as ever. Recently, when I took about 6 young people from our incubator to the United States, they came back with so much confidence. They said they knew a lot more than the people in Boston knew. Only thing was people in Boston knew how to talk. and we did it. And they learn how to talk, and they're doing extremely well now year on. So that's something we need to build, self-confidence. It should be long-term. It's not a one-time activity. Money is only used as a measure. It's not something we run after. If you don't have money, I mean, you need to have something to measure. So money is a good measure. Usually they're good problem solvers. Just like this afternoon, I found a way why I don't have to be admitting everyone and my colleague will. Instead of messing it up, and she and I tried it and it worked. So she said she would do it. So things like that we need to work on, problem solving. We need to goal set, which I've already told you, and we take moderate risks. It's like crossing the road. We all take a risk. It's not 100% safe, but we look right, left, right, and then cross. If you don't look left, right, and you run across the road, you deserve to die. So similarly, entrepreneurship is like that. Now, looking at what does it take to be an entrepreneur? You need to be able to deal with failure. Many of us are not able to deal with failure. We need to be able to take feedback and improve. We need to have initiative. We have to be responsible. We need to use resources usefully, and we only compete against ourselves.
Uh, Sir, sorry to interrupt. I think your voice is not audible. We are not listening you right now.
I think it's on mute. Muthu sir?
I think there is some technical glitch and he is recovering.
Somebody's muted me. That's a problem. Somebody might unmute me.
Someone, Nitin Kumar has muted Muthu, sir. Nitin
Yeah.
Kumar.
So how much did you miss? Do I need to go back with the PPT or what?
No. Only just
No,
like
sir.
last couple of seconds.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's not too bad. Let me just find because Google is not as easy to switch. So let me just go back to the slide. Keep telling me like that, otherwise I won't know. So I appreciate that.
Sure, sir.
Let me just get the slide back. Is it coming now, the slide? Are you able to see my slides?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Continue.
So I said, have fun and relax. Next thing is have urgency and excitement. We'll talk about this a little bit later. We need to have time for family and prayers. Very, very important. And we need to do some exercise. Even in this lockdown, I'm trying hard to walk in my terrace for at least an hour every evening, even though it's not doing me any good, but I'm still doing it because it should be a routine. And now this is what we say you have to be. This was you must. This you have to be. If you're not open, you'll not be willing to learn. We shouldn't worry about others because nobody cares about us. We need to be able to change in order to do that. In the last slide, I said you have urgency. Here I'm saying be patient. Many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, when I first returned to Malaysia after being in the UK for many years, I went to a dentist and he had 3 seats, which I was not used to in the UK. Usually the dentist sees one person at a time. He had 3 seats and he was the best dentist in my hometown of Ipoh. He was a Chinese dentist, even though he was trained in India as a dentist. He was one of the early Chinese people who were trained, and he always talked about India, and he's no more now. He used to have 3 seats, 3 chairs. And I asked him one day, doctor, why do you put 3 seats here? It's very risky. He says, I never rush my patients. It's the urgency my patients require. When I put them on anesthesia, it takes more than half an hour for the jaw to get numb. While instead of wasting that time, I attend to the next patient. And then by the time I come back, the patient is ready to be treated. This way, I am more effective and I know the urgency of my patients. And that's the difference between urgency and rushing. So we have to be patient, but we have to have urgency. We need to be respectful and helpful to everyone. Next one, we need to be serious and we should be result oriented, which many of us are not. Even people who work with us, less than 20% of people are result oriented. The other 80 don't care. They just come and go. This 20% of people do 80% of the work, which is the 80-20 rule, works in almost everything. And the last one, we need to be thankful. Here we say, what should an entrepreneur do? He should know where he's heading. He should know how to handle success. We always say this, and this was taught to me many, many years ago when I returned back from the UK to Malaysia where my parents live. And my father told us, I used to complain that as an engineer, I was never sent anywhere. All the other engineers were being sent all over the place. And my father told me at that time, going on a trip, it's better when you pay and you earn it. It is not worthy going on a free trip. Today, I realize that when I travel almost every other day up before the lockdown. When you go on a holiday which you paid for, the travel is much, much more pleasurable than someone else pays for you to come over. So earning it is most important. And don't feel sorry for yourself. And we need to write positive statements. We need to plan tomorrow, today. So whatever we miss today, we take it to top tomorrow. So these are some of the things an entrepreneur should be, must be, and should. This is the three categories we put it in. Now, what does it demand to be an entrepreneur? You got to give everything to the venture. You have to have complete commitment. You need to be creative and innovative. And most important, this is why I like working with universities. Knowledge of a subject is absolutely crucial. The more knowledge you have, the deeper science you have, your startup has a better chance of succeeding and making more money. That doesn't mean others don't have a choice or have a chance. If you want to make something big and impactful, you need to have knowledge to make sure. You need to be able to build a team. You need to create economic value. You cannot be giving away everything. You need to create economic value. You need to have ethics, integrity, and reliability. These are the demands of an entrepreneur. What can influence entrepreneur? 4 things can influence an entrepreneur. First is education, just like what we are right now doing. And I mean education, we're not talking about having a degree or whatever. People have to learn. Today, many people don't want to go to universities, colleges, because it's boring. Last night, I was listening to one of the finest professors today of Indian origins from Southern India, who lives in Boston. He spoke about in the next 50 years, only 10% of the universities in the United States will survive because people are changing. People are changing. And like our Prime Minister keeps saying, we need to scale people. Scaling people doesn't mean giving them degrees. If someone wants to learn how to operate a CNC machine, you may teach them 4 modules, how to run a CNC machine or how to run a robotic arm. You just need to teach them those for them to be useful. We need to reskill. So right now with the COVID-19, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. So we need to reskill them. We need to look at them. So entrepreneurship also plays a great role in entrepreneurship. Policies are important. In the last 10 years, the Indian government has become positive to entrepreneurship, just like anywhere in the world. Entrepreneurship is now a main leader in anywhere in the world because it creates jobs, it creates economic value, it elevates poverty. So it's important to have those policies in place. Culture plays an important role, especially in our culture. Our parents expect us to do a degree and get a great job with Microsoft, with Apple, and be happy ever after. So we need to work on that a little bit. That not many people are acceptable in culture. And of course, up to recently, the economics in India was not great to do a startup. But today, you can public list, you can make money going IPO. There's lots of opportunity today. So it's changing slowly and for sure. Now, what are the advantages? You control your own future. You are satisfied making your own money. You're putting your talent into use. And you do something that is enjoyable. So this is very important for entrepreneurs. They need to enjoy what they are doing. If they don't enjoy what they're doing, it is very difficult to bring results in entrepreneurship because it's a tough game. It's very, very hard. Unless you enjoy what you're doing, you will not be able to succeed. Now, disadvantages. Some months we make good money, some months we make bad money. So you got to get used to that. And you got to do all your work by yourself. You don't have an assistant to make you tea. You don't have an assistant to pick up your bag. And on top of it, life is tough. Now, what are the currently good industries to look at? Now, Internet of Things is happening, and you can easily work on sensors to do lots and lots of work in healthcare, for example. Big data analytics is another area to look at. Mobile apps are still there, but today there are probably too many, so we need to look at those. Mobile payments have exploded. There's so many wallets. Social media analytics is still at initial stages. It could be of value. Cloud services, if you can give them services in cloud, especially in the education business, this could be huge. Repertoire of books, lectures, videos, putting it in the cloud, accessible to thousands and thousands of people. Another area which you should look at, area of life sciences, biotech, medical devices and equipment, and generally healthcare services. So these are some of the happening places right now. How do you start a venture? Use your own money. Always better to use your money when you start. People will appreciate you.
Yeah.
If people don't appreciate if you don't appreciate your own venture by putting money, then no one else is going to put money. Next, it's a bank loan. Third, you get a family. Fourth, you can even get money from employees and partners. You can do that. Government grants are a good place. Mortgaging your property, probably not a good idea, but sometimes some people do that. Venture capital usually takes a little bit longer, and friends. You need to be careful with friends and family, because if it fails, they will think you cheated them. So you need to be a little bit careful with those. Now, this is a set of steps in a venture. We start from pre-idea to exit. Interest of time, I'm not going to go through this too much today, and whenever we do a more detailed, in-depth jump into a venture, we talk about it. So we have placed it from -4 to stage 4. Now, these are some of the problems you are going to face. Most faced by entrepreneurs and startups is called administration and regulatory issues, especially in devices, healthcare. People don't know what is allowed and what isn't allowed. So that's something they need to learn. And it's always tough to get startup financing. So you need to make sure you got that. And most of us lack marketing and sales skills when we start. Then we need to get into growth funding. As we get bigger, we need to be able to manage. So that's another skill we lack. We need business support. We need to learn how to get market access. We learn how to protect our idea. We need to be able to access technology to make ours better. Discrimination by financial providers are continuous to going to happen. If 4 young girls went to the bank manager will not give them a loan because he thinks they will not complete that thing. If 4 young boys with long hair went to the bank manager will again not give them money, thinking they're not real. But today, those things are not true, but that happens. So you need to be careful with discrimination. You need to be adapt to standards and quality. Entrepreneurship is all about standard and quality. Without standard and quality, there's not much can happen. And support providers are going to be discriminatory to you, like Vodafone, Airtel, PSNL. They're not going to give you access to high-speed lines without you paying. They will not feel comfortable to give you 10 lease lines because it costs money, and if you don't pay, they lose. And another problem is lack of information. So we need to be able to cover all these things. The 5 biggest challenge, client dependent. Sometimes this has happened to us too. When we had great things happening 7-8 years ago with the Malaysian government, with the Canadian government and Indian government, we had so much government work, we didn't bother about picking up private clients. When the government decided that the time is over, we started losing money because we didn't have any more clients. So very, very important. Don't be client dependent. Next one is called manage money. It's often failure is not because you're not making money, it's because you don't have money to keep going. So you need to fix that. Third is fatigue. You get tired running and running and running. So you need to be cautious. That's why sometimes it does no harm to take a break for a couple of days. And founder dependency. Unfortunately, the work we do, especially consulting, is pretty much founder dependent. So we need to work through that to have second liners who can solve that problem in time to come. And we need to balance growth and quality. As you get bigger, lots of them neglect quality. So we need to be cautious about this. Now, what are the challenges? Everybody has challenges. When you start an enterprise, it's a big achievement itself, but it's a bigger achievement to maintain it. Very few pass the 3rd year, so you know how difficult it is. The standard challenges every business faces, they are small or large. It's almost the same. It's just the magnitude, how you handle those challenges. This includes things like hiring the right people, building a brand, and so on. However, there's some that are unique to small businesses. Once most large businesses have grown out of that. Most large businesses probably already well-established clients. Small businesses need to struggle. So that's very, very important. We've already looked at the 5 challenges, so we'll not do that now. What do you do next? You need to come up with an idea. You need to carry out a study to see that it's flexible, it is feasible. Then you form a team. After forming a team, you need to raise some money to start. So start your venture. Get the business plan put together. Look for investors. Grow your idea and start looking for exits. So this is a kind of a roadmap for you what to do. Now I showed you this at the start. Why did I show you this? Okay. You see the dog is going to kill himself by trying to catch the bird because he's going to fall off the cliff. So first thing we tell you is not all opportunities are to be taken. Some are traps, just like that one. A person can become so determined to destroy another person that they become blind and end up destroying themselves, just like the dog jumping off. You fight best in your natural element, just like the bird. The bird just flies off. So you need to know your limits where we are. Sometimes the best response to provocation is not to fight, which we Indians are good at. So we are good at that one. Sometimes to accomplish something, you need teamwork. You will always not win alone. Very important. Last one, stick to what you do best and don't pursue what you kill. So a tiny picture like this tells you so many things, and it's useful for a demonstration like this. Now, I'm almost done, my last few words. Finding a new opportunity is tough, just like a sales. Both winners and losers get beaten. Only losers stay beaten. So for you, attitude is important. How you see yourself and how you see your future. If you reject, you take action, you're fine. If you don't take action, you become depressed and you end up with issues. So very important. The world is changing. You must adapt to change. There are 2 ways to look at change, one positively and the other negatively. Look at today. COVID-19 has changed in almost all our lives, but we have to carry on. We can't just stop. So we need to look at it positively. Like I said a few minutes ago, I had the opportunity of 80,000 people looking at my video, which would have never happened if not for COVID-19. And if you're speaking and if 80,000 people see a 20-minute or a 40 minutes of your talk, it's a pretty good achievement. So that's an opportunity for me. Now, looking at negatives and positives. The negative saying 5% unemployment. Positive, 95% of employed. I'm over 50, negative. Positive, I have lots of experience. I've had too many jobs. I've gained valuable experience. I've only worked for one company. I've shown loyalty. I failed at my interview. I've gained valuable experience for an next interview. Many students will be saying that during the placement time. Oh, I failed my interview. No, you gain enough valuable experience for your next interview not to make the same mistake. So this is how you look at negative and positive. Now, positive is great, but you need to do some things. You need to focus, you need to organize your activities, record them, and be disciplined and structured. Absolutely, absolutely crucial. Discipline and being structured. Now, Nelson Mandela said this: vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision is merely passing time. But action with vision can change the world. This man spent 18 years of his life in the prison. So, if he can change, today South Africa changed because of what he did. So it's amazing to see how this can be done. Important. You must have a vision, and then you have to have an action. Abraham Lincoln said this. For those of you who don't know, he abolished slavery in the United States, determined that things can be done and shall be done, and then we shall find the way. Very good. Mahatma Gandhi said, men often become what they believe themselves to be. If I believe I cannot do something, it makes me incapable of doing it. But when I believe I can, and I acquire the ability to do it, even if I didn't have it in the beginning. Very important for entrepreneurs. Extremely important for entrepreneurs. Nothing would be complete. Wisdom is a weapon to ward off destruction. It is an inner forte which enemies cannot destroy. Thirukkural, it is verse 421, BC 200 BC. It's a book from south of India with verses, very, very important verses, very knowledgeable book. So This is a quote from there. And of course, I did this many, many years ago, a similar seminar, probably 20 years ago, down at IIT in Tras, just down the road from here. And it was a match between Pakistan and India. And I had still a full class in the evening. People who came to listen because I was that time a visiting professor from Malaysia. I wasn't living here in India then. And I said this to the class, whatever you do is just like betting in a cricket match. You must want to run to score. If you don't want to run, you can't score. You can't be hitting sixes all the time, right? So very important. Entrepreneurship is like that. And I said this to my wife many years ago in 2004, when she and I were running a startup in our garage back in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She was here, and at that time my two kids were tiny little boys, and she left them with me, and she was really scared and worried. And those days there was only SMS, and she messaged me from Bombay when she presented to eBay to take her on to take on her product. And I sent this message to her: never give up, for if you do, you have lost the game and you never deserve to win in the first place. That company has gone on to be sold to a multinational now. So you can see what hard work and focus can do. What is next? I asked you at the start of the session, do you want to be an entrepreneur? And I asked you to say no. Now, what I'm asking you is, why did I ask you to say no? Because that was the hardest thing you ever have to do as an entrepreneur. And here, I say now, say yes. So this few weeks ago, my father sent it to me on a message. It was the day, or it was a couple of weeks ago, a visit day. And I really like this, and I've been using this for my last 4 or 5 seminars. I really like this slide. He says, the biggest communication problem is that we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. And I think that is a fundamental problem we all have. And entrepreneurs will need to listen to understand, and we should not listen to reply. Then we will provide a good solution. And as always, we ask you to do 3 things at the end of the seminar. Identify your key takeaway from this lecture. How does it relate to you as a person? And how are you going to share this with others? If everyone picked up one thing today, we've done a good job. We've done a great job. And if that is shared among ourselves, it goes multiple times like a domino effect. These are my contact details. My email is muthusingaram@viberzone.com. My mobile number 97909 32420. We have a couple of books on Amazon. If you key my name in, they'll come up. And my YouTube channel just started not too long ago, has videos of incubation right now, but I plan to do a full entrepreneurship module too when I have some more time to do that. So hopefully even today's seminar, I will upload it later in the week or whenever I get a chance after reviewing it. So this is how you contact me. I now am open for questions, and I'm happy to answer them. If you want me to, I can stop the video so it makes it easier for you. I'm happy to listen to any questions.
There was a very pertinent question from Vishwas Gautam.
Yes.
Vishwas, would you want to ask a question now?
Vishwasji, please ask your question. Anyone from the audience, if you have any queries, Muthu sir is there to answer you. Yes, Mr. Umang, you can. Just switch on your mic and you can be online.
Yes, please.
Umang Khanna, you can ask your question. Umang Khanna, you can ask your question.
Yeah, hi, this is Umang. Am I audible?
Yes, Umang, go for it.
Yeah, hello Muthu sir.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, sir.
Fantastic.
Sir, I have a question. Like, there are a lot of startup ideas that I keep getting, but see, the the hardest step is to initiate it for the first 2 years.
Okay.
Like I want to take some startups like mentoring the students, doing it, taking it online. But I don't know where to start. I don't know what's my
Okay.
customer discovery. Where should I
Okay.
begin?
Okay. What do you do right now, Umang, before you answer that? What do you do right
Right
now?
now, I am in Chennai only, sir.
No, no, but what do you
I'm
do? Are
doing a
you,
job at IT Madras Research Park.
where do you work in IIT? My office is
I'm
Research Park.
working at International Center for Clean Water.
Oh, you work with Nanda and boys. Okay, good. Okay. I know most of them there in the
Yeah, yeah,
international.
yes, sir.
Okay. First thing you need to
Fortunate
do,
that I'm able to interact with you, sir.
I'm only 2 floors up you. You're on the ground floor, we're on the 5th floor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So okay, no worries. First of all, you hit the nail in the head. You need to know who your customer is. So you got to start setting out what you're going to do. Look for maybe people say look for 100 people and do an interview. So you need to start doing an interview to find out people who use your product. Saying that sometimes people out there don't know what they need, like Apple Steve Jobs used to say. So he never followed on customer discovery. He would just do whatever he thought was useful to him. But unfortunately, most of us are not like that. So we need to do customer discovery. We got to go talk to people, friends, colleagues, and ask them a few questions. You might want to start an interest group, just put a group together and brainstorm with them. So these are some of the things you can easily do to find out who your customers are. If you ask 100 people and 95 people say they're not interested, you need to find out why they're not interested. That doesn't mean your product is no good or your service is no good. Maybe you haven't coined it right enough for them. So these are some of the things you need to find out. You need to talk to your customers before getting in. That's why we always tell people who come to the incubator, don't start building anything until you are reasonably sure who's your customer. Once you're a customer, then you make an NPV and test it out with those people who said they are interested. Does that help? Uma?
Yes, sir. Right.
Yeah?
Actually,
Any?
I'm looking this kind of a passive income that I can do it by my side with my job also. So something I was
Okay.
trying, I can take some mentorship online. How can I
Okay.
reach? So I don't know that how to begin on an online platform. How to take it, how to reach people.
How to reach
That is
people?
I'm struggling with.
So you need to look at, go maybe attend a
Yeah,
course
take it
on social
online.
media. On social media, how to use digital media to make your activity go forward. So they do run at IIT Madras at an incubation cell. Occasionally, they do digital marketing. So you may want to enter digital marketing. Go to the courses probably a day long or two
Yeah,
days
okay.
and learn how they do digital marketing. I assume that's what you mean by online. You're
Yeah,
trying
sir.
to,
Like
huh?
for example, creating a website of my own and
Yeah.
sending it to the desired customers
Mhm.
and taking feedback, something like that.
Yeah, so you need to learn how to do that. When the searches are done, how do you do SEO and all that? IIT Madras Incubation Cell sometimes runs programs like that.
Okay, okay. I
Okay,
wasn't aware about that. Thank you for
okay,
telling
so
me.
we do run. I mean, you drop by at HTIC anytime, and we'll guide you.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, we are
Thank
only
you
in the
very
5th
much.
floor. No problem at all. Next question, please.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, gentlemen. Next one, please.
So next question we have from Vishwas ji. Vishwas ji, are you there?
Please. I think he dropped out.
Yeah, he dropped, then he joined, and
Yeah,
again he dropped.
he dropped.
So anyone else, if you have some queries, anyone from the audience, if you have any queries,
He has returned that he'll come back and ask the question. So let's see what he does.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Hi, this is A.K. Ahuja, Muthu sir.
How are you? Amit,
Yeah,
is
I'm
it?
fine, sir. I
Great.
hope you are also. Yeah, I'm
I'm
fine,
good.
sir. Yeah, yeah. Sir,
Please.
yeah, since I am from EC department and there are so many students in EC, so many entrepreneurship opportunity are already there, and now because of this scenario, this opportunity would rise because of COVID-19. So my question is, can you please give a light on what are the different agencies, be a private or government, which will help the student or faculty members in gaining internship?
Gaining what? Sorry, gaining internship.
I think we lost him.
No, I think it's still there. Okay, I think he asked about internship. He's still there. He's talking.
Am I audible?
Yes, please. I mean,
Yes.
last part I did.
So
Yeah.
my question is that what are the government agencies which will help the students or faculty members in establishing entrepreneurship, in guiding and establishing?
Okay, we have quite a number of them. We have BIRAC. Have you heard of BIRAC? It's part of DBT, Department of Biotech. They come under them. So Department of Biotech has a whole lot of activities they do. Department of Science, DST, they have an entrepreneur cell which they give out also funding, their support. We have Department of Electronics as well, which also helps. Literally almost all the agencies in the government have some kind of entrepreneur program, including the rural ministry, women's ministry, and everything. So depending on what you're doing, you need to access those grants. If you go to Startup India's website, all the government agency grants are listed there. Startup India's website.
Okay.
And it's all there.
Yes.
I need to help you there.
Okay. There's one more terminology which basically I wanted to have some clarification. One is a venture capitalist, other is angel investors.
Okay. Angel investors use their own money.
So
yes. Angels are people like me who use my own money to fund. The venture capitalists, they take other people's money and fund. It's not their money. And usually the quantum of funds, angels don't give very large amounts. VCs give a large amount. So generally, when you first start, you talk to an angel, probably up to 50 lakhs, a crore rupees. And then you go to a venture capital up to 5 crores, 10 crores. So it's a magnitude of, you go up in the chain. And then you go to investment bankers when you're going to 100 million and so on. So angel investors are individuals like you and me who give small amounts in a collective manner. So each of us will give 5 lakhs each. Maybe 10 of us will join and give 50 lakhs. So that's the difference. Venture capital, they play with other people's money. So they have money from places like banks, corporate, and they also have money from insurance companies. So they invest those money, those money.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And the best part of your presentation was the word of wisdom that you were using in your presentation. I appreciate that and congratulate you for all that you have presented.
Thank you very much. It's almost 25 years of work. Many of those people.
Thank you, sir.
That PPT is, I started it 25 years ago, the very first time. So it's taken me a long time to get it. So if you see my 25 years ago's PPT, I would be ashamed how little I knew then. So in the next 25 years, when I look at this, I probably feel the same. We learn every day. Thank you very much.
But the amount of experience. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Any other questions, please?
Any other questions?
Yes, sir, this is Umang again.
Umang is back.
Yeah. Sir, as you mentioned that you were in some educational kind of stuff related to rural areas. So could you expand on that a little more?
Okay, I'm not into that. I started that to help people. So what I do is I give money to sometimes children to study. My original idea was to promote entrepreneurship for rural children through the work I do. So what I now do is I We pay school fees every year to 2 or 3 children.
Okay, okay.
Okay, we don't pay to any. We don't pay to top
Like
students.
I have
We
some
pay to
thoughts like
students who are not able to pay fees. So for me, the student doesn't have to be a topper. He just has to pass his exams.
yeah,
Okay.
okay, nice, sir. Sir, I have thoughts like spreading awareness related to environment and water, something like that, maybe in schools and colleges. So I'm just trying to work on that. How to initiate that?
Okay. Why don't you get my email and then drop me a mail? See whether I can guide you.
Sir, could you pardon your email ID?
Yeah, I will. But just that wait, I'll feed it. I'll put my email on the site. It was on the last slide.
Sure,
But
sir.
anyway,
Sure. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
uh, my eyesight is getting bad, so I need to be careful. See whether this is. If you can see on the side, I put. Just
We have
coming up.
Vishwas ji again back. So Vishwas ji,
That
you
okay?
can ask your question again.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, Dr. Singham, very insightful session. Thanks a lot. Uh, I wanted to ask you a question that
Please.
if a youngster or if any budding entrepreneur wants to pitch in, for a startup, what are the key points that he should mention when it comes to the pitch? Or whether if you are assessing a startup pitch, what are the key points that you consider before funding
Okay.
it or before putting money behind it?
Excellent question. First thing I look at, I want to know whether they know what they're doing. Okay. That's not even so crucial for me. It's more important that I would like to see whether they are passionate about what they're doing. Okay. So that's something I will try to work out, whether they're passionate. If they're passionate, then we will go for it. If they're not passionate, we will not go with it. That's how we will look at it.
But sir, the key points that that we should always remember while drafting a pitch. What are the key points that we should remember?
The key point is you need to make sure that the person who's going to fund you is sure that you will be able to complete the job. Most of the time when people are funded, they don't complete the job. That's a problem. Okay, so when you pitch, you need to make sure you convince the person that you will be able to deliver.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay,
Thanks a
you
lot.
need to be
Very
able
much.
to convince me that if I give you 5 lakhs, I'll get my money back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Muthu sir, we have a question in chat box. That this question is from Arpit Sharma. He is saying, "Hi sir, I am having some internet issues here. So I will just type my question." He says that he is working on a product based on blockchain and information security.
Mhm,
The prototype is ready,
mhm,
but investors are not easy to find to fund this work.
mhm.
So how can he reach out to venture capitalists or investors in this sector?
Reaching to investors and all that, there's plenty of investors out there. You need to check out what are they funding and then make a pitch to them. So you might want to join places like Thai Delhi, for example, Thai Bombay, whoever, where investors come and give their own talks now and again. Then you can learn from their talks, from them to find out what all they're doing. Right? Who are they funding? What they're funding? So there's pitching sessions held by all these people now and again. So where are you based?
Sir, this question was put up in the chat box. So I am just
Okay.
giving
Okay.
voice to his question.
Okay.
He is having
So
some internet issues.
that's okay. So they need to probably attend sort of talks and so on. Places like Thai Delhi and all, they run this sort of programs where they talk about who's investing and who's not investing. So they
Yes.
need to go there and possibly get investment. And it's not that it's difficult to get investment. Most people are not getting invested because they're not investable. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so you need to be careful about that.
Arpit, I feel your question has been answered well. You have got the answer to your question, and he has acknowledged. Any
Okay.
more questions from audience? Okay. So, sir, we are very thankful to you, and on behalf of whole MIET family, we thank you from our heart that it had been a very enriching and very enticing session with you regarding pursuing your career as an entrepreneur. We need this for our students. And I would also like to mention that we have two incubators right now, and we are at very nascent stage. We have started with, we got this MSME incubator, as well as we have recently onboarded with ACI, Seattle Community Innovation Center. So we will request you to keep us mentoring to help us to grow.
Sure. Just reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to
Sure, sir.
participate.
Sure, sir.
Okay. And if that's done, I'd like to say thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I look forward to our next interaction. And I would like to acknowledge my colleagues who are online who helped me with the session, in particular Pratista, who managed the entry and exit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
And I will share the recording with you so you can also share it with others.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Sure.
If you want to say anything before closing up, please go ahead.
Nothing. I think everything is said. Do we have any more question to answer? I think someone has written in the chat box. Munzir wanna ask some question.
Okay, we'll take that question and we can.
Munzir, if you have some question, this is the last time. Please be specific and you ask your question. Munzir, I think Munzir is not there. Okay, sir.
No problem. Thank you.
It has been a very nice session, and we are
much.
thankful to you and your whole team for this effort.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Talk again soon. Take care.
Sure, sir.
Bye.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you all.
Thank you.